Well, what an absolutely glorious day it is here in East Lothian. The sort of day when you think, I just want to have a lovely walk along a beautiful beach. So today I thought we'd take a walk along three of the best beaches here in East Lothian, just east of Edinburgh. Fancy joining me? Let's head along to Gullane first. We're here in our first stop, Gullane. Gullane is very famous for its golf courses, but it's a very pretty little town as well, worth a little walk through because there are some great pubs and restaurants here. Even from the village green you can see one of the golf courses and the hills of East Lothian behind them with those great bright yellow fields of rapeseed. This is a famous gastropub, the Bonnie Badger. I just love that name. But we're not really looking for pubs today, we're looking for beaches, so let's head to Gullane Beach. Here we go, beach number 1. I can smell the sea air already. I always get so excited when I'm approaching a beach. Actually, it's further down this path than I thought. Oh, gorgeous. Well, here we are, Gullane Beach. This is the first beach that we're going to visit today, and it's lovely and almost completely deserted. So this way, that's all the way out towards North Berwick, and the other way, back towards Edinburgh. Of course, this expanse of water is the Firth of Forth. Right over there on the other side is Fife. Well, it's actually early May and the beach is completely deserted apart from a few dog walkers. Come the summer, however, Gullane Beach will be pretty packed with people. It is in fact one of the most popular beaches here in East Lothian. Now, the next beach we're going to visit is a little bit more off the beaten track and is often deserted even in the height of summer. The next beach we're going to visit is Tyninghame Beach. Just before we get back into the car, here's a view of the beach from a higher elevation. Very pretty and still deserted. Actually, do you know, before we go to Tyninghame Beach, I actually fancy a coffee, and I know just the place for us to stop off on the way. It's called Drift Café, and it's unique because it's made out of shipping containers. And it's in such an amazing location, right here on the Clifftops, just outside of North Berwick. Now, the views from here are absolutely stunning. We can see so much. Just take a look at this. Out there, we've got Bass Rock, that famous breeding ground for all sorts of seabirds, including gannets and puffins. And just over there, you can see Tantallon Castle. And actually, that's a pretty nice beach just down there, isn't it? Let's get some coffee then, take a look inside. Genuinely is an amazing location here, so I've got myself a cup of black coffee and a bacon roll for lunch, which I shall scoff with that view in front of me. Now that is absolutely jam-packed with bacon. Drift Café, bacon roll for lunch. Well, I guess these beaches either side of the Drift Café are today's bonus beaches. I hadn't intended to visit these, but I'll just finish this coffee off and then we'll head to Tyninghame, and that one is absolutely spectacular. And that coffee's pretty spectacular as well. Can't beat a really strong cup of black americano. And a short drive later, I'm here at the car park at Tyninghame Beach. Now, I should have said before, it cost me £2.50 to park at Gullane Beach, and it would have cost me £2.50 to park here at Tyninghame. But just as I was driving in, another guy was driving out, and he waved his ticket at me and said, "Do you want mine?" And of course, I was more than happy to oblige. There are some really kind people about, aren't there? The reason that Tyninghame Beach rarely gets busy is because even though there's a car park here, it's actually a 20-minute walk from the car park through the woods to the beach itself. And I guess that puts a lot of people off. But believe me, it's worth that 20-minute trek through the woods. Let's go and see Tyninghame Beach. Beautiful countryside on the way to the beach. Do you know this 20-minute walk through the woods certainly builds anticipation for the beach itself. Now then, look at these huge concrete blocks. I knew I was going to run into these. Can you guess what they are? These are actually anti-tank blocks built way back at the start of World War II, between 1940 and 1941. When the UK feared invasion from Germany, they built these gigantic concrete blocks just in case the enemy landed here at Tyninghame Beach. And of course, they've never been demolished since then. That's definitely another power of history thing, isn't it? And through this final set of tank blocks, I think we'll be on the beach itself. Are you ready for this? Oh my goodness. Welcome to Tyninghame Beach, the second of our glorious East Lothian beaches of today. And you know what? Apart from me and those two walking their dog, I think we're the only ones here. Do you know, the first time I came to Tyninghame Beach a couple of years ago, my jaw literally hit the floor, well, the sand, when I first laid eyes on it, because as you can see, it's just absolutely unbelievably beautiful, utterly stunning, and just completely deserted. Now, the position of the beach is a little bit further south than where we were at Drift Café. So over there, you can see Bass Rock again. But just look at this fabulous view. This really is stunning stuff. Beautiful, crystal clear water. You could almost be in the Mediterranean or the Caribbean, couldn't you? Definitely worth that 20-minute walk through the woods. What do you think? Do you know, if this was in Tenerife or Mallorca, they'd have built everything around the beach, wouldn't they? There'd have been hotels, apartments, restaurants, bars, shops, nightclubs, everything you can think of. Now, I'm not against hotels and bars and restaurants and nightclubs, but sometimes something like this, which is completely deserted, is just so beautiful. You don't want it to be spoilt by anything. I mean, just look. Miles and miles of beach and only 2 people on the horizon. There's some really interesting birds out there on the sea. They're not seagulls, I don't think, because they don't make seagull noises. They're sort of going, ooh, ooh. I'll have to look that up when I get home. And I think before we leave Tyninghame Beach and head off for our last of our 3 East Lothian beaches, I think we'll head up over there onto the cliff tops, see what we can see. There we are, the full magnificence of Tyninghame Beach. Well, our third and final East Lothian beach is just over there, but here's the thing. As you can see, the river comes out into the sea just here, and that's between Tyninghame and our next beach destination. So what I'm going to have to do is go all the way back to the car park, 20 minutes through the woods, drive around and over a bridge, which is much further down the river, to get to our final destination. So please stick with me. Beach number 3 is inbound. Well, a very short car journey, and we're here at our third and final beach in East Lothian today. This is Belhaven Beach, the home of the famous Bridge to Nowhere. Even before we get close, you can see it's another expanse of golden sand stretching right off into the distance to that headland over there, which we stood on and looked this way about 45 minutes ago. Well, let's go across the Bridge to Nowhere. Well, I've done a vlog about the Bridge to Nowhere before, and I'll put a link to it up on the screen and in the notes to this video. But here's the thing. To get to Belhaven Beach, you've got to cross over this bridge over the little brook. But when the tide comes in, it completely swamps the brook and the first part of the beach. So it looks, when the tide's raised, that the bridge just effectively goes across into the water, hence the Bridge to Nowhere. But at low tide, like now, obviously we can cross over the bridge and get onto the beach. And that's the brook. It looks pretty innocuous at the moment, but when the tide comes in, this whole area will be completely submerged. And once we're here on the other side, we're on Belhaven Beach, and this is the third of our gorgeous, expansive East Lothian beaches for today. Even though we're a good 5 miles further down the coast, you can still see Bass Rock there. Another absolutely glorious, glorious beach. Beautiful. We are really blessed in East Lothian for some superb beaches. Some of the best in Scotland, if not some of the best in the world. Well, that's us done. We've visited 3 of the best beaches in East Lothian. Gullane Beach, Tyninghame Beach, and just behind me, Belhaven Beach near Dunbar. If you're coming to Edinburgh on holiday or for a few days, it's well worth doing this as a sort of road trip. To be honest, you could spend an entire day at any of the 3 beaches that we've been to today. But if you've got a car, doing them in that order, Gullane, Tyninghame, and finishing here at Dunbar, where there are plenty of restaurants and bars and fish and chip shops afterwards, you can have a really nice day seeing some of the incredible scenery here in East Lothian. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Rog Vlog. If you enjoyed the video, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's entirely free to subscribe. All you need to do is to hit that subscribe button. Until the next video, remember, there's always something to see. So get out there and find it.
If you reach out to me.